I'm Manny Khoshbin.
I'm TAREK El Moussa.
And we are the Passionate Few. We had a great interview with Omar today. It's all about mindset, believing in yourself, and never giving up. If we could do it, you can do it. Just take action.
And before you invest in anything, you got to invest in yourself. So check out the episode, and I hope you love it.
Hey guys, welcome to this very special episode of The Passionate Few. It's your host, Omar here, and today you're in for a treat because we get to sit down with not only the real estate mogul, Manny Khoshbin, but also the star of the hit HGTV show, Flip or Flop and Flipping 101, TAREK El Moussa. And although I've interviewed them both individually, today we have a 2-in-1 interview over some cigars in Newport Beach, California at the Cubano room as we talk about the mindset that it took for both of these gentlemen to go from zero to amassing a multi-million-dollar fortune, living their dreams, and inspiring a generation in the process. So whether you're a beginner, entrepreneur, investor, or somebody looking to take your life or your business to the next level and want some inspiration and some tactical details on how to take your life to the next level, be sure to enjoy this powerful interview to the very end. I assure you, there's something in it for everybody. And also, I want to let you guys know, if you've ever wanted to learn from TAREK personally how you can flip homes and join his coaching program, or learn from Manny about real estate investing in his Mastermind program, you can check out both of those options in the description below. Plus, the good news is if you've ever wanted to do what I do, and you see yourself watch this and go, whoa, like, that's incredible. I want to interview people. I got to tell you, for me, I never even thought it would be humanly possible to manifest being in a room with these gentlemen, let alone building and inspiring an audience just like you guys in the process. So if you want to start your own interview show, whether it's a YouTube or a podcast for your business, you want to grow your audience, you're in for a treat because I'm taking on a select few people one-on-one in my brand new Passionate Few coaching program, which you can apply for in the description below for people who are serious about building out their own interview show and inspiring the world in the process. So if you're interested, you can check those out, but with no further ado, sit back, relax, maybe even grab a cigar and enjoy the show. Today we have on guests that we've had on the show before individually, but today we have them on together. None other than Manny Khoshbin and TAREK El Moussa from Flip or Flop. Thank you guys for being on the show today.
My pleasure.
Thanks for having us back. We're excited.
Absolutely, yeah. And thank you, Manny, for having us here at the Cubano room over some cigars.
My pleasure.
So we've had you guys both individually on the show prior. You guys have shared about your stories, going from rough situations to end up making your dreams a reality. First question I have for both of you is, what inspires you guys today to keep going and keep pushing? So Manny first off, and then TAREK.
Well, I like to always reinvent myself, I say, I started in Kmart, my first real job, pushing shopping carts, mopping floors, and I look at life from that day on to now, everything's a stepping stone for me. So I'm just a mountain climber.
And how old were you when you got started in real estate to begin with?
I got my license in '92, so I was 21, and got into mortgages first, and then got into real estate. '96 is when I bought my first REO. He knows a lot about REO.
Bank-owned property.
And then I bought apartments and then office buildings, like I shared that my last podcast with you.
Yeah.
And graduated myself into buying high-rises and shopping centers. And now that's what I do.
And then cities and states.
No, not there
and
yet.
Bugattis.
Yeah. Those
We
are
saw that
stepping
today.
stones.
That's one of the motivating factors.
Yeah.
No, so we had dinner a few weeks back, and I absolutely love Manny. We had a great time. I got to hear his story personally. For me, both similar situations. We both came from nothing. I got into real estate at the age of 20 years old, like totally on a whim. You know the story. We were on the podcast together. But for me, it's like we have a limited amount of time on this earth, and like every single day, I ask myself, like, how far can I push it? Like, what is the limit? How much potential do I have? And I just feel like I have so much more room to grow. And I feel like people in general, there's so much more out there for people if they want it, if they're willing to work for it, if they're willing to look for it. Like finding success, just figuring out how to become successful is hard work. The success part is hard work. But before you're even successful, like the first time you did a podcast, that was hard work. That was scary. That was frightening. But you believed in yourself and you had a dream, and we're all sitting here doing this podcast right now. So for me, it's like, I just want it all. I want everything. I want to enjoy every aspect of life and live the absolute best life possible. And the result for me would be to provide a life for my kids and my grandkids and really just leave a legacy for my family.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Always stay hungry.
Yes.
That's what I
Just
say.
got to stay hungry.
So the next
Don't get comfortable.
Yeah. The next question I have is, why real estate?
Well, real estate is the basis of all wealth. It's tangible. You can touch the dirt, it's not going to go anywhere. And God's not making any more of it.
Right.
And population is always increasing. If you buy the right locations and your timing's good, you just hang on, it's going to go up.
How about you, Tarek?
Man, why real estate's a great question. I have no idea why. Actually, no, I know why. So, I mean, at the time, I was 19, 20 years old. I didn't know anything about business. I didn't grow up in an area with money. I didn't even know what real money was, to be honest with you. And I just kind of fell into real estate. I didn't have a formal education, and I didn't see any other ways out there to make big dollars, right? Like, how do you go out there and have the opportunity to make millions of dollars with no education? And I thought real estate was an amazing investment tool, and I just became obsessed with it because anybody could do it, or at least I feel like anyone can do it.
Yeah, very true.
What would be your best advice to people who are watching this? I know you guys are both involved in different elements of real estate. What would be your best advice to people who are, and feel free individually to share your take on it, to people who are looking to get into real estate and say, well, hey, we're in 2019, 2020. I'm going to hold and stay liquid until, the market dips and then go all in. What are your thoughts on the current economic climate of real estate, and what advice do you have for people who want to get into investing, who are newbies, total beginners? Each of you guys.
I mean,
Go for it.
Whether you're in a good market, a bad market,
There's
an
always a
average
deal.
market, there's always good deals, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely,
Like, you got to invest. And when I say invest, I'm not saying to go, buy a new construction house in Houston, Texas tomorrow, right? I'm saying if you're going to invest, the U.S. is pretty big, right? Find markets that are stable. Find up-and-coming markets. Find locations where you can find good deals on properties that have a strong cash flow. Like, as an investor, we're always looking for deals. I mean, when the market was going down, I was looking for deals. When the market's going up, I'm looking for deals. I mean, and if you're not, you're just sitting on the sidelines, right? So what are you doing? The market's not always going up. So you have years where the market's going up and you have years where the market's going down. What happens is the people that make money when the market's going up, all those people run away, they go away because they're not the true investors. The true investors are the ones who are able to make money in any market. And I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, if it's your first time buying a home and you only have $10,000, you don't want to buy, in 2007, right?
Right.
So timing has, a lot to do with it if you have a very small capital to work with. But obviously, Tarek is not in that category. But you have a lot of money and you're
Not as much as you. Not as much as you.
But so my advice is educate yourself. Real estate is a long-term play. It's not something you're gonna do one flip and all of a sudden you retire.
Or get a show.
Yeah,
Unless you're Tarek.
I'm sorry, you know one good thing I love about Manny? He is just so calm, cool, and collected when he talks about real estate. He's out there buying like $50 million buildings. And I'm over here like, I'm bouncing off walls, I'm flipping houses, I'm running like my head's cut off.
Oh, come on, don't sell yourself short.
No, he's so relaxed. Like, I need to get that. Manny just seems so relaxed.
It's the cigar.
It's the cigar.
Well, 28 years of doing real estate, after a while you keep seeing the same movie over and over. I've been through 3 bad recessions. So I've learned, hey, you make your money on the buy. Of course, there is always deals, like Tarek says. You can always look for deals if you're an investor, active investor. You can always find deals and make money, flip. But the bulk of money is made when real estate prices get, depressed, right? You find a property that was, is selling at 50% discount, in great location, you buy it, and that's when you want to double, triple down. But there's always deals to be made, in every cycle.
Totally.
But you want to make sure you don't jump in 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I've only seen one down cycle, and the down cycle I saw was the worst cycle. Obviously, 2007, 8, 9. I mean, those were some pretty rough years for all of us. So Manny definitely has that experience, which is great. I mean, as the market continues to move forward and as we see changes, like, I'm still going to learn, he's still going to learn.
Yep.
Real estate changes every single day. The way we do business changes every single day. I mean, look at today. There's so many different things out there. Like Airbnb, for example.
Yeah.
That was an industry that didn't exist.
Or WeWork. Yeah.
Yeah, WeWork.
Yeah.
Didn't you just open one?
Yeah, I just opened a co-working
Beautiful one.
space, yeah. I mean, I see an opportunity where WeWork kind of screwed up, and there's a lot of tenants are nervous. They don't know they're going to file bankruptcy. I mean, they own 20% of office market in New York.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy just expanded, bought very expensive leasehold improvements in, Class A office product.
And worldwide too, yeah.
Worldwide. So, I see an opportunity just like real estate in retail that got, completely shifted with Amazon and e-commerce. Same thing's happening with offices. and obviously same thing with residential. Now I see, I don't know, I was reading an article, a lot of people buying homes and converting them to Airbnb like apartments.
Yeah.
You know, kind of making them into an apartment.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's just crazy.
Yeah.
But you know, you gotta, like Tarek said, things always changing. Right now you got rent control. As of January, I think California's gonna have rent control for apartments. So that's a big game changer for all the apartment owners. Luckily, I'm not an apartment owner, but
Yeah.
but you know, if you are in that class of real estate, you want to obviously increase your rents before the rent control kicks in, because once that kicks in, you cannot increase it more than 5% or 7%.
How do you think that's going to affect the pricing in California? Like for me, I'm
Yeah.
going into the apartment building game. I'm currently working on buying some buildings, but I'm not looking in California because of the rent control. I mean, that scares me. And what do you think is going to happen to the investors that are already invested in California, or the investors that were going to be investing in California? Like, what do you see
Well,
happening?
lucky for them, they're still selling pretty, relatively low cap rate, so they can get big bang for their properties. And I see a lot of people dumping their multifamily portfolio because of that. Because if you get a tenant sitting in the apartment building, I mean, what would they move out? They're gonna lose their rent control,
Yeah,
right?
as investors, we
They're
make the
gonna lose
money
their
when we
protection,
increase
so-
the operating income.
Yeah,
Like,
so I think that's going to dampen the multifamily sector, but that's the beauty of real estate. There's so many different classes, opportunities, 52 different markets, states. You know, you can go, and some states are depressed, some states are super tight. So you can just cherry pick and shift, and that's why I say educate yourself, study the market, find those opportunities.
yeah, and I want to say something real quick. So there's so many people out there that want to get into real estate investing, and they want to get into the real estate game, but they're just scared. And I think like a huge market and a huge opportunity for real estate investing is for the millennials right now, because especially with Airbnb and the fact that they know how to use technology, they can buy houses. They can almost turn their house and turn it into a small hotel and Airbnb the bedrooms. I mean, there's just so many different ways to create cash flow when it comes to real estate today.
A lot of tools at their disposal with technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
education
do
and training
exactly.
too, yeah.
20 years ago, you didn't have internet the way we have it now, and like CoStar, LoopNet, those are the commercial sites people use to do research for properties. Back then, you had to I remember I had to fly to Arizona to go tour the area. I would have the listing agent teach me about the market, sub-market. Now I just go and do all my research.
Google it.
Yeah, Google it online, do my research.
I got a question about that actually.
Yeah.
So I always talk to other real estate investors about that, and they're like, "Oh, well, back in the day, it was so much harder because we didn't have the technology and all the automatic updates." But what that tells me is, 20, 25 years ago, it took a lot more hard work. So for those of you that were like willing to put the work in, they would get the results. And today with technology, it's easier to get things done, but I feel like there could be a lot more competition.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, that's always good. If there's competition, there is more activity, right?
Yeah.
So there's more activity, then you can it's more liquidity, right?
More
You can
opportunity,
sell,
yeah.
more opportunities. So then a lot of people, look at real estate as just, okay, I'm buying this, let's just say 16-unit apartment complex, it's 100% occupied, I'm gonna get 6% of my money, it's low risk, everybody needs a roof over their head. Well, that's just parking your money to me, But the way I look at real estate, I find a property that I can add value. Like this building here, I've almost doubled the income, and I just sold it 2 days ago, or
Yeah.
actually 3
Congrats.
days ago.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congrats,
That's awesome, man.
So, I don't buy a property just to park my money, and just wait for inflation, to get capital appreciation. I like to find properties I can repurpose. Like I put the cigar lounge in here, I pay myself $10,000 a month, and that equates to about $3 million a year on the resale at 3.5 cap, 4 cap, right? So you create value, and then 3-4 years you sell it, and that's the play for me in commercial real estate.
How many different types of real estate types of dealings did you try? Because you probably tried all sorts of different anglings of stuff, right?
Yeah.
I know you had a supermarket at one point, and you've tried commercial.
Yeah,
real
that was more of a
estate.
business, but that was.
So how many different things did you try in real estate before you actually?
Well, I did apartments. I had a bunch of apartments in Long Beach. And Long Beach, certain areas have rent control. But now apparently everything's going to be rent control. But so I used to never buy rent control because of that same purpose. I couldn't bump up the rents, But I did apartments, single family, shopping centers, high-rise office buildings, mixed use. This property is mixed use. It's got a marina, it's got restaurants, so it's got retail and office. That's industrial flex space. That's about it. I mean, I've done in business. I've done restaurants. I did the supermarket. I've tried to buy a gas station. You know what happened to that one?
Yeah, you got conned on that one.
Yeah,
right?
but every time I tried a new business to like business opportunity, I always came back to real estate because I saw it's consistent, it's predictable somewhat, and you can take calculated risk.
You know, I like that you said that because I mean, I get different business opportunities thrown at me all the time, and every time I'll get excited about something, and I'm getting close to jumping in, and in the back of my mind I'm thinking, it's gonna take away from my time with real estate, right? And real estate's the foundation of everything I do. So unless it's an amazing opportunity or something I personally really, really want to do, I try to stick to real estate.
Yeah.
How about this, man? And I want to ask you and Tarek as well. Both of you guys have had, real estate's high highs, but also some low lows sometimes, right?
Yes.
You talked about the economic downturn sometimes and how that's affected both of you guys at times. But you've been able, like Tarek mentioned earlier, you're able to stay calm, cool, collected. I remember even in our interview, you mentioned that you lost $5 million one time and you smoked a cigar to celebrate. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about what you've learned over the years about how to stay calm under pressure. I'm sure you've had heavy losses, times where you were negative hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions. Yeah. How have you learned to manage emotions when you're in that tough place, or is it just experience?
Well, the way I look at it, hey, I'm not dead. I just had a bad deal.
Yeah.
And then I get up.
But even at that time, did you find it that way, or?
Well, when I lost the $5 million on that building, it was Houston, the subsidiary of Boeing was occupying. Well, that was a portion of my portfolio. So I learned early on to diversify. Yeah. I don't have just one building. I have buildings now in 4 different states. And, you can still diversify just like you do with the stock market and bonds and equities. You diversify based on your age and risk tolerance. You can do that with real estate too. You park your money in some properties that are 100% occupied with great national credit tenants that's just, cash flowing. And then you buy some properties that are, fairly vacant, like the one I just bought, a 20-story building is 40% occupied. They buy it. They paid $44 million. They put $8 million into it 5 years ago. They lost a tenant that had 10 floors, and I just bought it for $13 million.
Yeah. Do you hear that?
Yeah. So that doesn't cash flow. That doesn't cash flow, but I don't lose a sleep over it either because I got 40 other properties that are cash flowing. Yeah. So you diversify. You buy some value add, you buy some fixed income properties, and after a while.
And when you started, you had no idea what you were doing. You literally bumped into the walls and learned it. Did you go to, were there seminars or books, or you just learned through the School of Hard Knocks?
I just learned. I mean, I obviously do a lot of online research. Like I follow Sam Zell. He was the biggest landlord. He had office equities, office apartments, public REITs. He had, I think, 3 public REITs. And then he exited in 2007. Great timing, right? For billions of dollars. Yeah. And so I kind of follow the big REITs and big landlords, what they're doing, And I'm a small fish, but I'm in my own little pond,
Yeah, you're the big fish in your own little pond.
If you call it.
It's his pond.
Yeah. How about you? We're just swimming in it. How about you, Tarek? Talk about some tough times and how you were able to, mitigate your emotions, mitigate risk, and sort of get through them.
Oh, man. When I was young, there was no mitigating anything. I was freaking out, kicking the door, drinking beer, crying in the corner. Like, it was tough, I started making a good amount of money as a young kid, 21, 22, 23, 24. Lost it all, went broke, 25 to 27, And those were rough years, man. But I wouldn't change it for the world. But for me, like, what I've learned just to stay pretty calm, man. And I think I learned that from my personal battles through my cancer, through my divorce. And I learned that, I'm still alive. Yeah. And shit happens, It's like, you're not going to win all of them. So when something goes wrong, I look at everything in more of a macroeconomic look, right? So if I lose on this deal, I'll say, okay, I lost on that deal. So now I'm going to put the last 100 deals together, average them out, and actually I made on all the deals, right? Yep. So you can't expect to win on all of them, and you just have to accept that shit's going to happen, and sometimes life isn't fair, and that really helps me. Yeah. Yeah.
Comes with the territory. You're not going to have home runs on every deal. Some deals don't pan out.
You just get used to it, man. Yeah. You just get immune to it. Like when you're first in this game and deals go wrong and you lose money, like it affects you.
Yeah, your emotions
you lose sleep over
it. For years I lost sleep, but now I sleep like a baby because I know it's part of the process, man. It's same thing that happened to me, same thing happened to him, same thing that happens to everybody.
So when you guys first started, what was your? I know Tarek, that when you invested in your first flip, you said you were like low on cash at the time, right? Like, what was your first foray into real estate when you were low on cash?
Oh, when I first got into real estate, it was just selling real estate. That was at
Correct.
20. And then in 2010, I finally started making a little bit of money again. I was selling short sales. I was able to pay my bills. And
You got the taste of it.
got
You're
the
like,
taste of it, man. I started seeing these investors making money, flipping
Yeah.
these houses, and I'm locking up these short sales for like 250,000. I'm like, I could sell this tomorrow for 350. And I just started pitching everyone I knew. And I was like, listen, here's a business plan. Here's what I want to do. And every single person said no.
Scaled up.
Yeah, and then finally I found one idiot that said yes. We bought and sold 1,000 houses together. This is 10
You
years
found
later.
a smart guy now.
Yeah, that's what I call it. So no, it's just one of those things, man. You just got to go for it. But like people talk about going all in or going for it. Like I go all in. I go for it in everything I do. But I go in with knowledge and I go in with a plan. Like I never just throw shit on the wall and hope it works. Like you have to execute a plan.
What about the toughest times recently? Has there been any tough challenges recently, and how did you guys get out of it? Because I'm sure a lot of people listening would, they see you guys and oh, they have it all figured out. So I want to ask for the audience at home who are watching, are there any recent challenges you went through, and how were you able to turn it around when it comes to business in particular? Anything recently you were like, shit, how am I going to figure this one out, and what did you do to get out of it?
Well, I'm running out of room for my cars.
Well,
No, honestly, I'm trying to think what property I'm having challenges with. Probably a property in Pennsylvania about 12 years ago, and it's natural gas related. There was a lot of exploration, and then all of a sudden it dried up, and it's getting depressed now. And that is going to happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's like getting hit with an avalanche, right? It's going to come.
Yeah.
So
Which
that's
speaks to what
one,
you're
but
saying about...
it's a small, very small portion of my real estate. So I don't even think about it. I lost like $25,000 a month in rents from 3 big tenants that vacated, and I just can't get a momentum on that property.
So
Because
where's your biggest focus in your real estate portfolio as of current?
right now, I would say I liquidated most of my real estate, the past 3 years, because I feel there's better opportunities. And so, I mean, this property I just sold, for a lot of money. And then I'm buying that property in Oklahoma that seems pretty reasonably priced, and it's got some great national credit tenants. But overall, I'm raise more cash right now. I'm waiting for the next opportunity.
Beautiful. How about you, Tarek?
what's the question, Omar?
I know. Sorry, I went around.
No, I forgot. I was looking at the birds
So
flying
what
in the
are the
background.
challenges you're having?
Oh, the
right now?
challenges. So here's an obvious challenge. So like people see me flipping houses, the last 10 years, but they don't realize the things I did when I first started flipping houses are completely different than the
Different,
things I do today. The way
Yeah.
I find deals is different. The way I bid on properties is different. The way I negotiate is different.
The way you do your rehabs.
Everything is different. So you always have to be changing. Like years ago, I would cherry pick off the MLS. I was buying bank-owned properties. I was buying short sale properties. Today, I can't find bank-owns. I can't find short sales. I can't find deals. So my business model went from like MLS heavy to completely off MLS. So
Yeah. So how do you source your deals now?
all off market. And I've learned how to
Really?
do that over the last few years. I would say about 80-90% of our transactions are off market deals.
But you don't walk around and put your postcard with your face on it.
No. Not anymore. I used to. I used to stand on the side of the freeway with the sign.
Yeah.
Don't hit me. Sell to me. But yeah, no, I mean, the real estate game changes all the time. And the way I run my business today is different than it was even last year. And in 2020 will be different than 2019.
It just comes with the territory.
Everything changes all the time.
How about you, Manny? In your decades in real estate, what have you seen be the biggest shifts in the real estate markets overall? What are some
Well,
things that
aside from
drastically
retail, complete the big box retailers are kind of gone away. The Sears, Pebbles, Hebets, Bed Bath Beyond, Toys R Us, all those. I mean, Amazon, e-commerce. I mean, it's so easy now with a few clicks. You buy everything you want from Amazon, right?
Right.
So these brick and mortar retailers, they're kind of obsolete, right? Aside from few exceptions, Target, Costco. So I'm staying away from big shopping power
Commercial
centers.
real estate centers,
I buy a smaller community centers. Your dentist, your optometrist, your 7-Eleven, restaurant.
Things that'll be here years from now.
They're e-commerce resistant. So I start focusing on a smaller community centers that tailors to the community. and people still want to go out and eat, it's entertainment, you're going to eat Postmate how often? You know, not every night, right?
Yeah.
And then there's that one night you say, I want to go have a beer and have a burger, you know, at the joint in the corner, right?
Yeah.
And I want to own that joint. I want to be the landlord. So,
Yeah.
so that's for retail. And then office, obviously, I'm not buying big floor plate properties. All the office market product is kind of shifting towards more open space, co-working. You know, 10, 15 years ago, companies wanted privacy. They wanted a corner office with view. Now everybody wants all open. You know, they want to socialize, you know?
Yeah.
So everything's shifting, like you said, you know, everything's evolving. But for me, I look for properties that I can kind of bring them up to the current market, and you know, like the property I'm buying in, I bought it in Houston. I'm gonna take 2 floors and do co-working in there. The smaller suites, spec them out, turnkey. People come in there because right now, getting those full floor tenants is kind of obsolete. You know, companies are not taking multi floors anymore.
And it's not
Because
sustainable, as you saw with the WeWork
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I do for me. I mean, it works. It's been working the past few years.
Why stop now?
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah. What about your guys' first big hit? One of the questions I had posted asking people, what was your guys', you know, what's a question you guys would ask you guys? And someone asked or wrote me a message saying, what was the first deal where you saw the check on your profit and went, holy shit?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? Do you remember yours?
2201 West First Street. 2000.
Yeah.
So I bought it was an abandoned property in Santa Ana. I bought it. It would call it lock, whatever. You know, the bank just took it back, trustee sale, and the locksmith was changing the lock with the asset manager from the bank. And I was at my post office checking my mail, and I saw the locksmith van. So I hurried over there. I'm like, hey, did you guys just took the property back? He's like, yeah, we did. And he gave me his card. I bought the property with the SBA loan because I used to have a supermarket. So $670,000, I put $67,000 down, and I was able to flip it for $1.6 million. I put some money into it. That was my first $1 million.
Yeah.
I had a shopping center and 2 REO homes already
Yeah.
at the time, but it wasn't $1 million in my account.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it
What
was
year
a
was
small
that?
2000.
How old were you at that
Man.
time?
I think I was 29 or 28.
Yeah. So you were like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you did with the check to celebrate?
Yeah, I went and bought 2 apartment buildings in Long Beach, cash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny how we celebrate?
Yeah.
That's
I
how I
go
said,
buy
what did
another
you do? I bought
property.
more real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an addiction.
Yeah, so I took that money. I pulled up all this multifamily apartments in Long Beach. I started studying the market, 7 different zip codes, 90802, 804 is more premium, closer to Ocean Avenue, and collects a lot more rent and sells for more. So I looked at properties, apartment buildings that sellers had price reductions. They were motivated. It had good unit mix. And I just stopped writing offers. I wrote like 50 offers, and one of them accepted. If it was something for 900, I would write an offer for 650, all cash, 10-day closing. You know, just clear title was the only contingency.
Yeah.
So, and I found that one motivated seller. So I bought 9824 Locust, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It was a 9-unit apartment. I bought it for 650. They wanted 899. I bumped up the rent, did some minor landscape remodel. I sold for 950 8 months later.
Wow.
And I bought it cash.
Yeah.
So I used that $1 million. I bought, and I keep flipping. I
And you
ended
just
up
kept doing it. Yeah.
buying 200 apartments in 3 years.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
and
awesome.
then I'm like, okay, you know, cap rates keep going lower. Everybody's buying, you know, apartment buildings. It's getting frenzy. 2004 is when I said, okay, this is getting too crazy. So I started looking at Arizona, and I found properties that, you know, it was, you know, had a lot of motivated sellers wanted to offload their properties. I did the same thing. I bought a office building for 1.6 million cash, and then I sold that for 2.2 million. I bumped the rent, something, you know.
Did you have friends at that time who were also sort of, because it seems like you were really aggressive, so to speak, in terms of trying to grow the portfolio. Where did that come from? Did you have mentors? Were you learning from people, or was it just internal firepower to like, I want to grow it, I want to grow? Where did that come from for
it
you?
all started from my landlord. You know, when I had the supermarket, Mr. Dave Williams, he was an older guy. He had probably $600-700 million worth of real estate, a lot of apartments, commercial properties. So one day we're in court. We had a dispute with the buyer that was buying my supermarket over a lease.
Yeah.
He says, hey, landlord's not giving me favorable lease terms, and I want my deposit back. And I was selling for $185,000 my supermarket. And he subpoenaed my landlord. So we're starting to be, you know, in courthouse. He says, what are you doing here? Like, you know, you're working 7 days a week. You know, you have a lot of energy, and you need to get into real estate. And he goes, you know, when you get rid of the supermarket, you're a great tenant. I hate to lose you, but come and see me.
Yeah.
So that's what happened when I sold my supermarket.
Wow.
I called him up and he sent me his broker, and he was kind of like my mentor. And
How important do you think having a mentor was to where you're at today? Do you think had you not had that guidance, you probably wouldn't have played as aggressive or tried to do it, or do you think you would have figured something else out?
no, I would have figured it out. I mean, I
Yeah.
always wanted to succeed, when I came to this country because of the situation, we were living in a car. So I had a huge drive to be a multimillionaire. I even drew my dream home,
I remember that, yeah, and your dream wife and your dream cars.
So, I say people is like, pouring water at the top of the mountain, you'll find a way to come down, right?
And I want to say something about that real quick, because people talk about this all the time, having a mentor, right? And people will make the excuse, well, I don't have a mentor. I never had a mentor. Here's the thing. The only reason he had the opportunity to have that mentor is because he had the balls to start a supermarket at a young age, put it on the line, started his own company, and he was an entrepreneur.
He was in the game.
So because if he wasn't already in the game, that opportunity never would have presented itself, right? The guy noticed that he was motivated. He noticed he was hungry. And those are the signs that people look for. So, like, I always have this dispute when it comes to mentors. Like, personally, I never had, like, a full-on mentor, but I had people I looked up to, and I was like, Manny, I always knew I'd be successful. I always knew I'd be wealthy. And I always knew that because I knew anything is possible, and other people are doing it, which means anybody can do it. At least that's how I feel, right?
Yeah.
And that's the belief system I have. So, like, when, Manny, you talk about going out and buying apartment buildings or strip malls, in my mind, I'm like, great, I can't wait to go buy them. Like, I'm already ready. Like, let's do it. Right? Where a lot of people, they get held back. Like, they don't have that self-belief.
Yeah.
You know?
Obviously, if you believe in yourself and you're willing to put the 150% in, you'll find a way. I mean, you'll become successful. This country, with all the tools, is so much easier now to make it, in any business than 20 years ago. Because, you can just work harder and do your research, find who's successful in that industry, shadow them, follow them. If you can't shadow them, just follow them on social media, see what they're buying.
That's it. And it's like people make success so confusing. And like, I look at success in business, nothing more than a mathematical equation. Like, that's how I look at business. People ask me all the time, like, it's math. All you have to do is talk to more people. If you talk to more people, you get more leads. If you get more leads, you get more deals. You get more deals, you get more money. You get more money, you get even more deals, right? All it is hard work. The problem is, like, me and you, we were willing to go out there door to door, thousands. I probably knocked on, I don't know how many dozens of thousands of doors in my day. The difference is most people will knock on 100 doors, and this is terrible. The dog barked at me, the sprinkler came on, the neighbor threw the newspaper at me. The difference is I didn't give a shit. You just got to keep going. It's nothing more than math. If you do the same thing over and over and over again, eventually I think you get results.
Yeah,
that's why
very true.
Do you find that the generation now is a little bit softer when it comes to achieving goals? Have you guys seen that? The younger generation, whether it be investors or people
I don't know,
like
man. I'm almost 50. I don't know what's the new
Yeah.
Well, definitely, they're more laid back. They got the Google, Apple mentality, everything on your fingertip, I don't see the drive, I mean, of course, if you got that drive, you're going to make it, right?
No matter what, yeah.
But if you're looking for, the next big thing and
Quick
get
fix,
quick fix,
yeah.
I just don't see it there, I mean, look at what happened to, the .com and then even the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Went up to 20,000 and then went to
back down
3.
to 3,000.
Yeah. I mean, if you borrowed money and bought it at 10,000, went to 20, you then sell it, went to 3 and sold it, you panic, you lost, right?
Yeah.
So, to me, that's why I love real estate. Real estate is inflation protected because cost of drywall, labor is always going on a rise, always on a rise. So you buy something, it's going to be worth more 20 years from now. It's just given. Everything goes up, it's inflation. So I like it. And if you educate yourself and you diversify and you know the market timing, where to really go all in and when to take some money off the table, man, it just watch back and smoke a nice cigar and
Or
making
two.
money. Yeah, or 2.
Have you ever had times where you got comfortable with where you were at or never?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
You've never had times of...
No, I just started a co-working business. I don't need to. My wife says, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You're starting a new business. Or I started my mentorship program, That
Yeah.
takes a lot of energy, a lot of time. I don't need the money.
Yeah.
But I like to challenge myself.
What is it about it? Is just the challenge of it? What is it that keeps you playing offense? Just the game? You love the game?
I like success. I like results. When I pick a new project, I do it and I see I'm making good traction and getting good results. it's very fulfilling.
It's rewarding.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
feels good.
It's a high.
It feels good.
Honestly, it's a high.
Let's just be
you know?
real. It feels good to win. Like it
Yeah.
does, right? It's like your favorite sports team, they win, you're
Yeah.
cheering, right? You're watching a car race, your favorite driver wins, you're cheering. Like our life is a game.
Yeah.
Like I like winning. I like setting goals and accomplishing goals. And I'm not competing against anyone else except myself.
Yourself, yeah.
Like every single day, I'm out there competing against myself. Like I set big goals for myself to prove to myself that I can do it.
Yeah.
And
Well put,
that's
yeah.
you just got to keep going. And let's
Can somebody have a vacuum?
Yeah,
here?
dude. It's a cigar
Yeah.
lounge. It's
Yeah.
see, I'm actually on the floor.
But you know, after so many years, you build that personality. You become a hunter. You know,
Yeah.
like for me, I go
Yeah,
hunt
I love
for
that.
great real estate.
It's in your identity.
It's my
It's who I
identity.
am, yeah.
It's my fix.
Yeah.
You know, I like to find properties that can add value for me. I go out, look at every single different submarket. And then same thing with co-working space. If I see an opportunity where WeWork's screwing up, I'm like, hey, it's a window of opportunity. I can get in there, pick up some of their tenants, and my cost of real estate is much lower than WeWork, so I can offer lower rates. And no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. So, like, here's what a lot of people don't understand too. Is like, and I'm sure, Manny, you went through the same thing. Like, becoming successful is a process, right? Like that first cold call wasn't easy. That first time I knocked on a cold door wasn't easy. And
Of
I'm sure
course, yeah.
it's scary for us. And there's so many people out there watching us and our success and the nice cars and the traveling and the fun, but they don't see the struggle. And they need to realize the only way to become successful at anything is to struggle. And when I mean struggle, that means you have to fight each and every day. You got to show up at the same time. You got to work long hours and you have to give it everything you have. And that's the key to success, because people ask me all the time, like, how do I become successful? You just got to be willing to do what others aren't willing to do.
Put it
For
in
a
the work.
sustained period of time.
Like,
yeah.
you know, the secret to success is just outwork your competition. Like, you just have to work.
Yeah.
It's like, who's going to make more money? The real estate investor that knocks on 20 doors, or the real estate investor that hires 20 people to knock on 2,000 doors each,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
Well
see, the
said,
thing
man.
is, they're like, well, I don't have the money to pay 20 guys. Exactly. That's why you have to start on your own. Like, people will say, well, I don't have the money for marketing. I don't have the money for this when it comes to real estate investment. When I started, I didn't have any of that either. So you have to start somewhere. Like, if I was new to real estate and I had no money and nothing, I could go out there and I could flip houses anywhere in the world tomorrow. You could drop me anywhere on this planet. I am so confident in my skill set that I can be flipping houses.
Yeah. Yeah, people always tell me, oh, if you lose everything right now, be bankrupt, can you make it again? Absolutely.
Yeah, no
I'll
problem,
go find
yeah.
the best opportunistic deal in real estate. I'll call a bunch of investors and say, hey, I'll pick up 20% profit sharing. I'll do all the work. I stabilize the property, exit 3 years. Here's the value. Why wouldn't they put money?
Yeah.
Somebody brings that deal to me, I'll partner up with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Be careful.
So-
People are going to start messaging you.
It's okay.
I know, I've done that
I want
before.
properties. Bring
It's
them.
like, I got this house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
Yeah.
You get it for 600. It's worth 500. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It needs to be worth 600. You need to get it for 300.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, it gets easier, you know,
Yeah.
as you go up. I mean, right before I used to source deals, you know, by putting a lot of time researching, finding properties, but now I get like 10 to 20 properties a day
Need a lighter?
emailed to me.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
got 3 over here, but I'll take yours.
Yeah, that's a good torch. So now I get like 10 to 20 deals a day emailed to me.
Yeah.
So my mailbox is always incoming properties because they know I've built a brand, they know I close.
Your
They know that,
reputation.
yeah. So it does get easier. That's what I'm saying, is stick to one thing, don't hop around every time you see a better opportunity in a different industry. Stick to one industry, hone your skills, and you'll be successful.
Oh, I like that, Manny. I like
Yeah.
what he just said, because in my real estate career, I've seen so many guys with talent that never make it.
Yeah.
And they never make it because they start making some money in real estate and then they jump to go do loans. They start making money in
Yep.
loans and then they go do loan modifications. Then they leave loan modifications.
The
to flip-
student loan.
yeah, there's like so much shit they're doing. I'm like, listen, and I've seen so many people with talent just
Yeah.
completely waste it because they don't focus on one thing. Become great at one thing, and
Yeah.
once you master that one thing, you can start branching off into other things, but it takes a foundation.
Absolutely, yeah.
What would you guys have done differently knowing what you know now in your career along the way?
I would stick to more real estate. I realize every time I've put money into different ventures, I lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, co-working I'm doing is real estate.
So it's an experiment a little bit.
Yeah, it's still real estate. I'm leasing out my office. It's just not to one tenant, to a bunch of people, you know. So I learned, you know, just focus on what you do best, you know, whatever that may be. You know, everybody can be successful in, even if, you know, cigar realm. If you love cigars, you can, you know, build a brand and it could be a multi-billion-dollar company, right? Anything, real estate. Just stick to what your passion is, your interest is. Hone your skills. Don't divert. Just focus. You're gonna have tough times, but if you're sticking it and you're always putting 150% and you know what you're doing, you're gonna be successful.
Yeah, play the long game with it.
Yeah.
How about you, Tarek? What are your thoughts? What would you have done differently, knowing what you know now at this point in your career, that you would have shifted? Obviously, there's lessons when things don't go as planned.
You know, there's really nothing I can think of that I would have done differently. I think I did every single thing it took to get me to where I got. Looking back, the only thing I would have done differently would be raising capital and holding the assets instead of flipping it. But let's be real, I was in my 20s and I didn't know how to do any of that. I just needed to make money and I needed to start the business, you know? But next cycle, I'm gonna take every single lesson I've ever learned in my life
And put it all in.
and put it all in next cycle. You're up buying and raising and holding as much real estate as I possibly can.
100%.
Like I would prefer not to flip houses. I would love to hold on to every single asset I have. The problem is eventually you run out of money, and that's why I'm looking towards raising capital in 2020.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, you know, when it's self-funded, eventually you run out of your own self-funds. So
Yeah. But that's the power of, like, once you build momentum and prove your portfolio's
Yeah.
worth, you can always leverage that. And,
Plus, you're building a brand, you know?
yeah, exactly.
building a brand, like I have a lot to learn, man. I
Yeah.
have a long way to go in the real estate game.
Yeah.
Like I haven't, you know, bought any 100, 200, 300 million dollar buildings yet, but I will, like 100%, you know? There's a lot to go in this game. Like
Awesome,
I love
put it here.
I love real estate. I'm just obsessed with this stuff, man. I just love it.
Let me ask you guys this, and it's sort of a little bit of a deviance from real estate. How important is, both of you guys, you know, fitness is very important.
Yeah.
What role has fitness played in your guys' you know, journey to success throughout the years?
For me, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, fitness is more of, you know, mindset, right? So I'm just, every time I work out, I feel I'm more focused, I have more self-esteem. And yeah, I mean, having muscles is nice.
Yeah.
But, you know, the mindset is what's going to take you through all the hardship.
Through the tough times, yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Tarek? Same thing?
Yeah, man. I mean, through all my roughest years, like I always needed that gym break. And it wasn't for the body, it was for the mind, you know. And you're working those 16, 20-hour days, like you need that hour and a half to just go unload and just push those weights around and just release that anger or energy or whatever's inside of you, you know?
Yeah.
And I think fitness is really important. And let's be real here, right? How you feel is how you're gonna project.
Right.
And if you feel good,
Yeah.
you're gonna project that way.
Yeah,
If you
and
feel
people
insecure,
feel the energy.
And I know,
Yeah.
listen, I had cancer. When I had cancer, I was 235 pounds. I had a 38-inch waist. Like, I was
Wow.
a bigger guy. And then when I hurt my back, I went down to 169 pounds.
Shit, yeah.
Like, my health has been like a roller coaster. Like, now 195 pounds, I'm healthy, I'm good. And I know what it feels like to be in shape, and I know what it feels like to be out of shape. So,
Yeah.
you know, and it's a big difference. And a big part of my success comes from my ability to set goals and go to the gym and follow through. And it's really important to take care of yourself. Yeah. And I especially learned that going through the cancers.
Yeah. Because you've had two
That's
cancers,
tough.
right?
Yeah.
Wow.
How old were you when you got diagnosed with that?
31, both cancers within a
Wow.
few months. Yeah.
Wow.
And on top of that, you're doing the show. You had the divorce situation, and you have kids, and you got all the business
life,
stuff. Yeah,
life, you know, and I had
Wow.
a choice. Do I crawl up in a ball and throw in the towel? And I said no. I decided not to, and I said I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm going to fight, and I fought.
And now you
for
flip
you.
more houses, and you got another show now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we're on the
Yeah,
offense,
now
yeah.
2 TV shows. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. I love
It's
That's
that.
just crazy,
awesome.
man. You just never know where the world's going to take you. You just never know.
Another question we got from people is, what's the biggest financial splurge you've ever had in a week or a weekend? For both of you guys.
Oh, he probably beats me.
Well, I know Manny has the...
Well, you mean going to a club or buying a car?
well, what's the biggest financial splurge? Have you ever had any days that was just ridiculous, or weekends where
yeah.
you said, fuck it, and just...
I was randomly driving down PCH one day and drove by the boat dealer and ended up buying $1 million boat. That was a good day.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
that's
was like
awesome.
completely out of the
Yeah,
blue, too. I had zero plan on doing
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
my one big splurge day.
I don't think I've had any of those. Everything I've done has been planned, like cars I design, you know.
How many cars do you have at this stage?
I don't know. He was asking me earlier. I don't even know, to be honest with you. I got 2 cars this month. I got a Porsche 935 and a new Bugatti.
Can you list all the cars you currently own? Do you- or do you-
Probably I have 5 SLRs, 3 Rolls Royce, 2 Porsches. I have McLaren P1, McLaren Senna. I have a Bugatti Chiron. I have a Bugatti Mansouri. I have a Bugatti Rembrandt. And I have a SUV and a Tesla SUV.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I may have forgot a few up there.
Yeah.
Oh, 650S.
Yeah.
McLaren.
So is there a rental program I can join? Like, can I join the Manny rental program so I can borrow them every now and then?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never gone out and like him spend $1 million like that would feel good.
It
Just
did
walk
feel
in
good.
and do it, you know?
It did feel good. And that was that was like my one big splurge. It wasn't planned. It wasn't expected. Because normally I plan everything. Like if I'm gonna buy a car, I do all the research. I want the best deal. I'm a cheap ass. On the boat, I ended up getting a good deal because the owner of the dealer was a big fan of the show. So it was one of those.
way.
Yeah, it was one of those deals where I couldn't pass it up. That's why I bought it.
Yeah.
That's
It's one of
cool.
those deals like,
Yeah.
here's the numbers, here's what I'm asking, here's what you can have it for.
Yeah.
So I was almost forced to buy the yacht. Like I had no choice.
Great opportunity.
Yeah.
Have you had a lot of stuff like that too with, I'm sure, real estate as well, right? Or you walk into places, people are fans, so then you can negotiate a deal. Have you had that happen quite a bit?
You know, it happens quite often.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Damn, I gotta take you with me when I
Let's
go buy
go.
these
I'm
high
gonna take you with
rises.
me. Let's go. We'll go together.
Maybe
Yeah.
I get $1 million off.
I love that. Now, what about someone else wrote in and they were asking that what advice would you give to the younger version of you that was looking up and aspiring to have these high levels of success? And of course, you guys are still going both on offense, but what would you tell the young version of you about maybe misconceptions about success? I'm sure looking up, it looked like this big intimidating thing, but being on this side of the fence, you sort of see it with more clarity. There's less delusion, exaggeration,
Yeah.
fear.
I know. I mean, the biggest
What would
thing I
you
would
tell
tell
that young
myself is don't beat yourself up. I mean, I really beat myself up for many years. I was really disappointed in myself because I wasn't achieving the success that I wanted as fast as I wanted it.
You were
And
impatient.
I was very impatient, but I worked my ass off. I never quit, and I kept going, but I held it all in. You know, it boiling inside, and I was just very unhappy for a long time because I wanted success so bad, and I just didn't realize that it was a process, which now I do.
Yeah. For me, invest first, spend later. Yeah. When I first when I first started making money, I had a mortgage company. It was '94. I made 290 grand. Century West Financial was my mortgage company. So I went and bought a brand new Lexus LS 500 or not SL 500 Mercedes.
Yeah.
I got a big house in Irvine. I was 23, 24 years old.
Yeah.
Buying 3-piece suits, Valentino, Hugo Boss.
You were a multimillionaire already. Yeah.
Oh, no, I was making good money. I wasn't
Yeah.
a multimillionaire yet,
But you were
I was
think- yeah.
spending, instead of buying, good real estate investment and spending the cash flow, I was spending all my income. So I say invest first and then spend later.
Yeah, I think we all do that. Because when
Yeah.
I was 21, 22, making all the money,
Yeah.
I thought I was rich. I was like, I
Yeah.
made it, I couple $100,000, bought a Mercedes, nice suits. And I realized, no.
Resist the temptation, and
Yeah.
it's very hard.
Was that part of the motivation for you though, to upkeep the lifestyle to a certain degree, or to you sort of train yourself? I saw an interview with Trump where he said that at many tough times, him and his friends, when they were trying to grow stuff, they would get first class seats on flights just to train their mind to think at a higher level. Was that kind of what you were doing there a little
Well, I started smoking cigars 30 years ago when I was 18.
bit? Yeah.
And 18, 19, I wasn't
Why?
I wasn't wealthy by any means. But I was wearing my suit, drive all the way to LA, Peninsula Hotel, Belvedere Bar. A lot of, established businessmen go there. It was a jazz bar. They smoke cigars. So I started treating myself like I'm wealthy,
So you started thinking that, putting yourself in the environment. Yeah.
Yep. And it was a, expensive habit I started, but
Yeah.
it worked,
Yeah.
It's all about believing yourself, right? And if you believe you're going to be rich and you're going to be successful and you have that mentality, you're going to try a lot of different things probably, but you're going to find that one that converts and works, and you just keep putting everything in that,
Yeah.
And for me, it was real estate.
Did you have a lot of friends coming up, or were you pretty much a loner in the sense that nobody was as motivated as you and your friends group?
Yeah, that's a tough part. Yeah, I never found many friends that had the same drive as I did.
Did that
They always wanted to hang out, like, just
talk about bullshit?
drink beer and watch football or do this or let's go play soccer.
Yeah.
I mean, to this day, I've never played soccer in this country.
Really?
And I have a lot of friends, being
Yeah.
Middle Eastern, they
Yeah.
love soccer. But because
We're all
took-
partially Middle Eastern too. I
Yeah.
just realized that. Yeah.
or even golf.
Yeah.
I've never played golf, but I'm
You've never
naked
played
on
golf, really?
No.
Oh, I love golf. I'm terrible,
Yeah.
so I don't practice. But I
You know
love
why? Because I have to carve out 5, 6, 7 hours, or sometimes
takes
the
a
whole day.
lot of
And I'm
time.
like,
All day,
what?
yeah,
All
yeah.
day? You know how much productivity I'm gonna lose?
You know how many
So-
buildings that is? Yeah.
it. 5 hours. Yeah, it takes a lot of time.
But you have to learn to play too. Take time off to play. I mean, at this point, I have everything I wanted to have. Okay, I don't have my own jet. That's only because it depreciates. It's a bad investment, you know, or
Yeah,
a
yeah.
boat. Sorry.
Hey,
yeah.
Unless you have a
by
TV
the way,
show, yeah.
by the way, when I bought that yacht for $1 million, I walked into 150 grand equity. So I did a pretty good buy.
Ah, that's
Today I
good.
can still
Yeah.
sell for 750 4 years later.
Hey, that's not a bad deal, but that's not typical though.
That was not typical.
But yeah, because when you drive off the boat yard and you buy a brand new boat, you probably lost money already, right?
Oh,
For you to sell.
absolutely. That's
Yeah.
one thing for me. Like, so every now and then I'll fly private, and it's not the affordable. It's just every time I fly private, it's like, okay, well, I saved 2 hours and I spent, an extra $12,000. Was it worth it? And so many times, like I travel out for work, I'm like, maybe I get a partnership or I get a NetJets. And then I guess maybe just right now, I'm not in the point where I want to spend that much money, because I look at that money I'm putting towards like a private jet.
Yeah, it's a lot
and
of capital.
You buy
Yeah, but yeah.
assets, appreciating assets, cash flowing assets, you
Yeah.
know? So it's just hard
100%.
right here. But the day I'm worth like hundreds of millions of dollars, yes,
Yeah, you will do it.
I will do it.
And I'll be using your jet. Thank you.
If by the time I'm worth hundreds of millions of dollars, you better be worth billions of dollars, man,
No.
okay?
That's funny.
Now, what about when it comes to decompressing? Obviously, you guys have a lot going on, whether it's employees, people. What do you do to sort of kick back and relax, or do you find relaxation in the work, or is it a
Right
cigar? Yeah.
Yeah, I built a cigar lounge, not just to add value to this property, but I come here every afternoon, weekdays. This is where I unwind, and then I drive, take the PCH down to home, to my home. Yeah.
Yeah, you cruise in we saw the Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
You cruise in the Rolls Royce back home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another day. Yeah.
So for some people, maybe yoga. For some people, maybe playing video games. Whatever it is to get your mind, like off of that, grind, and just kind of relax and.
But let me
Chill.
ask you a
Yeah.
question though, man.
Yeah.
Like when you were building everything, think about years ago.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember ever really relaxing.
No, I mean I've been smoking cigars for 30 years. I mean for me it's
Yeah.
kind of relaxing.
You're
But
back
back
in the
then I
middle
used to
of
go
the
to
day,
gym.
2 hours.
I used to go
yeah.
to gym. Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to go to 24-hour fitness like 9 or 10 p.m. and I closed my supermarket
And that, yeah.
and work out. I mean, I was dead tired, but I needed it because my mind was fried.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great stress reliever.
Yeah, and you know what fascinates me too is, like, and I keep going back to it, but I can only imagine, like, in this day and age. So I'm a millennial. I'm 27, and so many people are on their phones or distracted or on Instagram.
They're
it's just
wired.
that. Yeah, they're wired
Yep.
for that fix. They don't have that long-term vision, mentality, endurance, resilience. Talk to me about like what you did to jam in your mind to stay motivated when the environment around you wasn't. Was it just that the fire inside you burned so hot that you kind of just didn't give a shit about your environment?
Yeah, I mean, I the never give up mentality.
Yeah.
You develop that over years, and exercising, was a big part of it, developing that mindset.
Right.
But and after you have a few tastes of success, that shopping center I sold for $1 million. Obviously, you get a taste of it.
Addictive.
Yeah.
It's addictive,
They
and then
want
that
more,
keeps you
yeah.
going. Even if you fail, it keeps you going because you already had a taste of it.
How about for you, Tarek?
What's the question, Omar?
Well, I was saying, like, for you, I was asking Manny, like, for you, I guess twofold. What is it for you that you do to decompress, de-stress, relax? Like, what is it for you that helps with that? Or do you just work more?
Man, I'm always kind of going.
Yeah. I know Josh on your team told me the same thing.
Yeah,
So you're always
yeah.
on offense.
I'm always kind of going, to like decompress. Like I go to the gym, but I'm not really decompressing at the gym. I'm like hitting it as hard as I can. I'm in between sets. I'm returning emails and returning texts. I'm
Trying to
on
close
phone
deals,
calls.
yeah.
Like I'm always going,
Yeah.
But like for me, I would say I shut down from 9 o'clock at night to 11 o'clock at night is like my time. And those are the 2 hours of my day that I just really relax. I sit in my
So no
backyard.
phone.
No phone.
No
And
kids, no wife.
They're
No, I'm just-
sleeping. No wife.
Yeah.
Girlfriend now. She's
Yeah.
great. So I think like for me, it's just I take 2 hours every night. And then every morning I wake up about, I wake up exactly at 6:40 a.m. every single day. And for the first 45 minutes of my day, I sit on my patio, enjoy like the morning weather, and I sit under the heat lamp, and I return emails, and that's my time. So the first hour in the morning and the last 2 hours of night.
That's good.
And in between,
So
it's
why
just-
6:40 a.m.?
Yeah, I
Is
was
that
gonna ask that. Yeah.
I have no idea why.
Oh,
Just I picked
alarm clock, or you just
alarm
yeah.
clock. I picked 6:40 and I stuck to it.
That's good.
Yeah. I tried the 5 a.m. thing, but the problem is that like a lot of times I'll be up too late, 12 a.m., 1 a.m. So I learned I need at least 6.5 hours of sleep. That's my number.
So you guys sleep by midnight-ish.
Yeah, I go to sleep right around midnight.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
How about you, Manny? Do you get good sleep?
No.
Really?
No, I sleep maybe, between 3 to 5 hours a night.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Tony Robbins was saying that he's gone 30, 40 years, literally sleeping 3-4 hours a night. How do you do it?
I don't know. It just
works for you.
It just works for me. Yeah. I get up usually by 4:35. I have my first cup of coffee. I start looking at emails because I have properties in other states that are 2-3 hours ahead. So I start getting emails already. I do some of that, and then I go by 6 o'clock. I have my second cup of coffee, and then my personal trainer comes at 7. So I work out for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Circuit training, and then I hit the sauna, and then shower, and then drop off my daughter by 8:30. So from 4:30 to 8:30, that's 4 hours. I get a ton of emails, responses back, sometimes social media comments,
Yeah.
and work on what I want to post. And so I feel that 2-3 hours that everyone's asleep, I get so much done.
How long have you been doing that?
Oh, 25 years probably.
How integral has that been to your productivity and momentum? Pretty crucial.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you get distracted during the day. I mean, especially like, I'm sure you too.
Yeah.
I mean, my phone's blowing up. Either it's texts, my wife, there's a water damage on this property, or wind blew off the roof on this property in Texas.
Yeah.
So there's always stuff coming in, right?
Yeah.
So you can't really focus, So for me, I laser focus in that 4 to 6 a.m.
Create that opportunity before things come at you.
Yeah.
So you're not in
you have to have
reaction
a
all day.
moment where you can have zero distraction and laser focus. on
I
whatever
agree.
task is.
The best time is
Yeah.
like, for me, it's that first hour in the morning. You got 4 hours. So
Yeah.
now I got to wake up earlier. Thanks, man.
Motivation.
Make me
Yeah.
feel guilty over here, my
Yeah.
6.5 hours of sleep. All right,
Yeah.
we're going down to 5.5.
What about someone asked the worst piece of advice and then the best piece of advice you've ever received? I'm sure you guys have both gotten a lot, but just off the top,
gosh.
career-wise.
Well, for me, best advice was my landlord, when he told me, hey, what are you doing? Just invest in real estate, God's not making any more of it. He told me, he said, if you take some dirt, put it in your pants, hang it, come back 40 years later, it's still there,
Yeah.
And that stuck with me. I'm like, you know what? 40 years from now, I could own a bunch of real estate. They're not going anywhere, they're just going to go up.
Yeah.
You buy it in the right place at the right time, Worst piece of advice, I would say, again, don't splurge right when you start making,
Yeah.
the first taste of success, making money. Find investments to park your money and start building cash flow. From that cash flow, you can go ahead and spend whatever you want on, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not spending from your capital, you're spending from cash flow. Big difference.
Yeah.
And here's a big thing I see, like even me, man, when I first started making money, anyone young out there that start making money, I'm talking money, 300, 400, 500 grand a year, they think it never stops. Like when I first started making money, I was like, this is it. Like it's never gonna stop. It's gonna continue to go up. And what happens is your ego gets in the way, the market shifts, something happens, that income's gone, you have all this overhead, you have your fancy cars, you have your
Lifestyle,
suits,
yeah.
and you can't afford that lifestyle, and then you just become miserable because of it, But like worse, like I really don't take bad advice, right? So I was told, don't get into real estate, it's the stupidest thing you can do. I was told, don't get onto TV, it's the stupidest thing you can do.
Who told you that?
Everybody. They're like, it's not gonna work, you're wasting your time, nobody, like all this bullshit. The best advice I ever got was from my dad. And my dad always told me that you can accomplish anything if you're willing to work your ass off. And that is the one piece of advice I have taken from my father with every single thing I do. I believe anything is possible, and it's up to me, nobody else, to make it happen.
Execute.
Yeah, it's up to me,
Absolutely.
it's nobody else.
Absolutely.
And for people who didn't hear your interview or that moment in the interview where you talked about a show, can you just recap the story about how you literally had never flipped a home?
How I pitched a house
Yeah,
flipping
how you
TV
got the
show,
show. Yeah, how you got the
before I
TV
ever
show.
flipped a house.
Yeah. Because this is an
That was a
amazing
crazy
story.
idea. No, like, I met a guy at a real estate conference, and he was on a local real estate TV show in Palm Springs, and he told me he sold houses, and he was like, I go to the grocery store and people like recognize me. He's like, I was like, well, did you make money? He's like, yeah, I sell their houses. Next night I'm at home, I'm sitting on the couch, and it hits me. This guy's on TV. He's in real estate. He makes money on TV. I told my ex, I was like, I need to get us on TV. She's like, what the hell are we gonna do on TV? And I was thinking, we just bought our first flip the week before. We hadn't even started the work yet. I said, we're gonna film this thing. We're gonna make a home video, and we're gonna get a house flipping TV show.
That's awesome.
That's how we got the show.
And you had never even successfully completed a flip when you got the TV show. I love that.
Yeah.
That's pure will. Yeah,
That's
it's pure
awesome.
willpower. Yeah.
Oh no! By the time I got the show, I had successfully completed.
Right.
But when I pitched it, no. And then when I got the contract for season 1 to do 13 houses in 10 months, I had no idea how to do it. Like zero idea. So like within a year, I taught myself how to flip houses on TV.
Yeah.
Like people don't realize like that stress they saw on that camera, that shit was real. Like I was stressed.
Yeah.
I wasn't sleeping. Back then I wasn't sleeping because I was driving overnight by all the properties going to the auction the next day to see which ones were vacant. So I was on the road 4 or 5 in the morning. I was at the auction 8, 9 in the morning.
That's real entrepreneurship.
Yeah, the pressure
Jump
to
off the
commit.
cliff and build a parachute on the way
Yeah,
down.
on the way down. It's the only way.
Yeah, straight up. Wow. Now, okay, someone wrote in to ask you guys, each other, like a guest question. So, for example, Manny, feel free to ask Tarek any one question you'd like, and Tarek, feel free to ask Manny any one question you'd like. You have a lighter really quick?
When are we going go-karting? No, I'm just-
I was going to ask you that. You took my question. Do over.
Any one question you guys would like about anything.
we need to find something that we can do as a hobby. You know, for me, I just been hoarding cars, but golfing I want to do, but go-karting 100%.
So you were
on me.
asking like what we do earlier, like for me,
Yeah.
like how like we like let go, relax. I love racing things. I love racing cars. I love racing motorcycles. I like driving dirt bikes. I love racing go-karts, like all that stuff. And I'm gonna get Manny on the track with me, and you gotta come with us because
Yeah.
it's a ton of fun.
I'm down.
Like I love it. I was in Texas a few weeks ago, right before we went to dinner, racing McLarens. It was so much fun.
Yeah, you went to CODA, right? Circuit of America,
It
yeah.
was so
I've
much
raced
fun.
my McLaren there, the 650s.
Yeah.
It's a nice track.
It was a beautiful track. You know, coming up the Big Bend,
Oh,
the Big
yeah.
Hill.
Yeah.
I was a little late on the braking one time. Came
But
flying
go-karts
up
are
the
more
hill.
fun.
Go-karts
Yeah.
are more fun. Yeah,
I
they're
told you
fun.
I used to have one long many years ago, but I would love to get back in there. You got a bunch of them, so
Got
I
a
don't
bunch
need to
of
buy
them.
it. Hey,
So that's what we
I'm
need
down.
to
deal.
do. Deal.
How about one question do you have for Manny?
One question that I have for Manny.
Maybe something no one's ever asked him before.
Oh, I'm sure he's been asked a billion questions. Let's think here. Question. What is your favorite style of commercial real estate to invest in? Do you like apartments? Do you like strip malls? What do you, the office? What is your favorite?
Definitely not apartments. I like mixed use and office.
Okay, why not apartments?
Well, apartments because it's, you know, everybody needs a roof over their head, so pretty much it's going to be stabilized. It's very rare you're going to find an apartment building with 30% vacancy, right? So there's not much for me to do. There's not much for me to lease up. Okay, I could put some lipstick on it, you know, landscape, palm trees, light fixtures, but that's not enough value add for me to
You're looking
make
for
millions
margin
of dollars.
potential.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
what's your favorite? Like, what's your
Office buildings.
Office
yeah,
building.
yeah. You know, office building. You could walk in there and make it really creative. You know, that it's an environment, right? So just like a house you do with the houses, I do with apartment with office buildings. You know, like the one I did at my corporate office, WeWork. Like it's fun. You know, you go out there, you say, okay, I want to do. These are my color palettes. I'm gonna stick to more like mustard, gray, and black and white. You know, and then you do the whole thing. You put the vision board together, and
put it
it's
together.
fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
So like so my commercial investing experience, I bought a commercial building in Anaheim 5 years ago, paid 4.9 for it. It's valued about 8.5. So I did really good on the
Wow,
building.
that's
I
awesome.
held on to it.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna sell that thing. I'm
Yeah.
gonna hold on to that thing, and I just want to continue to buy them. But like right now, I remodeled the entire upstairs of the building. Came out super cool, more
Yeah.
modern design. So now we're redoing the downstairs, and we're doing more like industrial modern. So it's a lot of fun. It's
Yeah.
just like houses almost. So
Yeah, you get to be an artist
yeah,
in a
it's
way, you
fun.
know?
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Picasso of Newport Beach. they call
Yeah.
it. All right, before we wrap up, we always play a game called First Things First. So the way the game works is I rifle off a word or phrase, and then you guys tell me the first word or phrase that comes to mind. Make sense?
Money. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
kidding.
So I'll do Manny first, and then I'll do Tarek. So you can hear Manny do it.
So you just say one?
Yeah, I'm going to say a
One
word or
word.
phrase, and then you
Ah.
tell me the first word or phrase that comes to mind.
Okay.
Okay?
I have a question. Do I ash this?
Yeah, or it's gonna end up on your shirt.
It is. Oh,
Yeah,
there it is.
it's
Oh,
up-
it's burning uneven.
You ready? Okay, first question. Cigars.
Relaxing. Or relaxation, I should say.
Money.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Money. I should say America.
America. Okay. what keeps you inspired nowadays?
You know, I hate to say myself.
Yeah.
I inspire myself. I mean, I always look back how far I've come. You know, I don't want to be snobby or anything, but I look, hey, it's great when you start winning, right?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
The biggest misconception people have about you?
They think I'm short.
That's funny.
I feel so tall.
I feel so tall.
Your biggest win in real estate? Your single business?
Single, I would say this property made 12 mil.
12 million. Okay. Your biggest loss in real estate?
Oh, 1150 Gemini, lost 5 million.
Failure.
Which ones?
Yeah. What you told yourself during the tough times?
Oh, I'm gonna make it.
Your legacy.
My kids.
And last one, you ready?
Yep.
Passion.
Passion, I would say my family.
Tarek, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, first one. Only rules, you can't repeat yourself twice. That's the only
Shit.
rule. First one, flip or flop.
Life changing.
Television.
Life changing. See, you set me up. You see what he did? Television, exposure,
Your kids.
my everything.
Money.
Freedom,
Real estate.
fun,
Cancer.
scary.
Your favorite indulgence.
Oh, yeah, you can't say that.
No comment. I was just kidding. Wow, so many of them. Favorite racing things.
Speed.
Speed.
The most important thing you look for when building a team or hiring people, building your army,
Loyalty.
like Trump. I'm just playing. Your environment, like the importance of who you surround yourself with.
Crucial.
Your future.
Right.
What you told yourself during the tough times.
You can do it.
And last one, passion.
Life.
I love it. Do you guys have any last words of advice to people out there who are, watching you guys? I'm sure a lot of people message you guys all the time for advice. Any final words of wisdom before we sign off to the camera, to people around the world watching who have dreams and goals and aspirations, whether they have capital to invest in real estate or they're looking to learn?
Yeah, I mean, like
advice?
honestly, you're looking at two guys sitting here doing an interview in Newport Beach, California. Both came from nothing, and real estate absolutely changed both of our lives. And it wasn't just real estate; it's the mindset that it took to become successful. So you can accomplish anything you want if you believe in yourself, and that's the truth when it comes to anything in life.
He said it all. Well, what I say, take action. A lot of people, you can have the best ideas and, you can put the best business plan together, but if you don't take action, nothing's going to happen. So don't wait for the next better opportunity. Just work with what you got, whatever that is. If you're a painter, become best at it, If you're a detailer, become best at it. You could become a multimillionaire owning detail shops, right? Detail shops. And, for me, take what's in front of you, hone your skills, be successful, and just take action. Don't sit around waiting for an opportunity to come.
And this is coming from a guy who you were living in your car at one point.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. How long
Yeah.
were you living in the car again?
Oh, it was like 3 or 4 weeks.
Wow. So if you could look back and the Manny today could talk to that young Manny who was looking for answers, what would you tell him?
I would say keep pushing, I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't speak a word of English when I came here.
Yeah, I
So-
forget about that.
Yeah.
So you were, not only were you
So
doing this, you
I
were an
couldn't
immigrant
communicate,
doing
yeah.
this, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you were doing real estate transactions, you were even having a hard time communicating, learning the
Well,
language,
by
learning
then,
more.
I started doing real estate in '96 was the first property I bought at REO. So by then I was, fluent.
Yeah.
I still had the same accent, but
Yeah.
But early on when I came here at age 14, I had 3 hours of ESL classes at Costa Mesa High School.
Yeah.
So it's tough when you can't communicate. You want to take action, but you can't even communicate, to take action. So that's very tough. And most people can communicate now. They got iPhones and they have access to technology, tools, access to people. You know, nowadays you have access to people. I mean, you DM people, and if you're persistent, you know, they may respond to you. You know,
Yeah.
back then you didn't have that. You know,
Yeah.
you had to have, you know, find somebody that knows somebody. You know, to put it. So there's so many things at your disposal. Just take action.
I love that. And where can people find out more about you guys? Any programs you guys have, mentorship, social media? Where can people find you guys who are watching?
For me, is my name, MannyKhoshbin.com. Yeah, my website. And
How about you, Tarek? Any programs or any?
Yeah,
anything
well,
people
my
can find?
Instagram's at the real TAREK El Moussa, and I have a new real estate coaching program launching in 2020. It's going to be worldwide, and I'm
Awesome.
super excited about it. It's not announced yet, so it's going to
Awesome.
be announced any day here. And other than that, filming.
Congrats.
Thank you, buddy.
That's awesome.
I'm actually very excited about it. And then,
Congrats.
filming the 2 new shows for 2020, Flip or Flop and Flipping 101, and hope you guys are ready.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the show.
Hey,
Manny,
anytime. Pleasure.
It's been a privilege.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tarek.
Good
Make
see
sure
you,
to
buddy.
Tune in next time, guys.
what?
Thank you.
Scissor rock.
Thank you guys for tuning into this episode of The Passionate Few. We'll see you guys next time.
If you guys enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that subscribe button right now, because every week we bring you the very best in personal development content, interviews, and insights to help inspire you to take your life and your dreams and make them a reality. And also, if you want to know how to book dream guests the same way I have, you can check the link below for my top 3 secrets. So if you have a podcast or a show or whatever it is and you want to collaborate with them, if you click that link below, I'll give you those top 3 secrets to help you get in touch with anybody. And also, don't forget that The Passionate Few is available on media platforms as well. So you can subscribe to the podcast. And until next time, thank you for being one of the Passionate Few.